every time before I start a video, I'm always thinking like, bro, do I need to do one of them like typical ass YouTube video intros, like with the fake ass, like high energy? Yo, what it is? No, we're not doing that. But anyway, what we is gonna get into today, we about to react to this Get Like Prince video, Why Everybody Hate Doechii. Why is this topic so popular right now? What is the hate about, actually? So I want to check out this video, see if he got any valid points. I want to know what his take is. Like, is he also a part of the hate train, or does he have some like good logic behind why is this a thing right now? So we're gonna get into it, see what he's talking about, and we're gonna see where we stand.
Every day I get on Twitter and see one thing: the world hating on Doechii or just some Doechii slander. It said the people calling her an industry plant, saying the streams is about it, or people just talking trash. I just seen a war between Doechii fans and Young Thug fans, and I'm talking about these tweets was viral. There was
Wait. Doechii and Young Thug fans, why would they be beefing? Like, what? What am I'm missing? Cause I don't know nothing about this. I did hear about the industry plant allegations, but I mean, I feel like most new artists that come out gonna get that, especially if they popping. But some of them valid. Doechii, I don't know if she's necessarily an industry plant, because I heard that she been, doing her shit for a minute before she even popped off. Like, she been building. Niggas gotta understand that before people can even get to the point of being called an industry plant, it's like, check they past. Have they been putting in the work? Have they been releasing music? Even if it's on a smaller scale, you feel me? Some people just take a minute before they pop.
There was 8 million views on the tweet that just said Young Thug was better than Doechii. But why and where did all the Doechii hate come from? And is it even justified? See, Doechii ain't a random. And me personally, I do not think she's an industry plant, and I'm gonna get into that as the vid goes on, because Doechii has been around in music for years at this point, even though she had her big break recently. For context, she had been making music since like 2016 and wouldn't really get attention.
Look, and see, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's like, you gotta look at people past. If they just came out of nowhere, no prior music or nothing, and they winning Grammys and shit, all right, then you feel me, shit looks sketchy. But if she has a past and a catalog from her past before she was Doechii today, then I don't know if you can necessarily call that an industry plant for real.
Until 2021. Like with a lot of artists during the 2020, TikTok would change live. And TikTok changed hers, similar to Yeet, similar to Ice Spice. She had a song go viral, and with that song getting viral, labels start calling. We had labels calling her up. She made a decision, a real controversial decision, to sign to a label nowadays that got something to do with the amount of hate she gets today. She signed to TDE, Top Dog Entertainment. And at this time, do you know who was signed to TDE? Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, God.
Kendrick said you the hardest out.
He did.
How'd that make you feel?
That was great. It's Kendrick. I was like, goddamn. Yeah. He didn't say she hard. He said the hardest out.
That's right. Yeah.
Period. With a period. And men don't even be using periods. So that's a big deal.
Has he given you that validation offline too? Like, just.
We've actually never met in person. I haven't met him in person yet.
Wait. What? I mean, I guess I could see it, right? I mean, just because you signed to the same label as a nigga don't necessarily mean that y'all gonna be in the same rooms. I don't know if do they have music together? Like, I have no idea. But being that Top Dog is not like a roster full of a whole bunch of artists, I don't know, is that kind of odd that they never met?
So her career was going nice. She had some big songs out, people paying attention to her, but it will only be a matter of time before some controversy came her way. Whether it was her fault or not, controversy still came. We had Azalea Banks, out of all people, talking down on Doechii. And Azalea Banks is definitely one of the more controversial people in the music industry. She done probably had more beefs than 6ix9ine. For example,
hey, you know what though? I feel like Azalea Banks always talking shit about everybody. Now, I don't have nothing to say about Azalea Banks one way or the other, for real, because honestly, I don't think I've ever heard any of her music. Like, it's just odd. Like, she always got something to say about people, but I don't know none of her shit. No shade. I don't know her shit.
She was beefing with Kendrick Lamar. Back some years ago, 2 unarmed black men ended up dying to police, Michael Brown and Eric Garner. They got killed by some police officers, and it was a lot of the hip hop community at the time really speaking on the situation, giving thoughts on the situation. One of these artists that happened to give their thoughts was Kendrick Lamar. He spoke on the situation, but Azealia Banks ain't like what Kendrick Lamar said. Billboard wrote this: while the majority of hip hop community has been vocal about the disturbing outcome of Michael Brown and Eric Garner's cases, no one else has had more to say about other rappers' responses than Azealia Banks. On Friday, January 9th, just hours after Billboard's Kendrick Lamar cover story published, Banks eviscerated the TDE rapper for his comments on Ferguson in our publication. For context, here's Kendrick's full quote to Billboard: "I wish someone would look in our neighborhood knowing that it's already a situation. Mentally, where it's messed up. What happened to Michael Brown should have never happened. But when we don't have a respect for ourselves, how do we expect them to respect us? It starts from within. Don't just start with a rally. Don't just start looting. It starts from within." Billboard wrote that didn't sit right with Azealia Banks, who criticized Lamar for the content of his comments and for giving them to a quote-unquote white publication. And so she calls him out, and she goes on this whole tweeting spree just giving her thoughts. And the reason I'm telling you this story is because it relates right back to Doechii. Remember what I said? She signs to TDE. Azealia Banks already don't like Kendrick Lamar. She already had her problems with Kendrick Lamar, so they signed Doechii. She feels away. She like, yeah, they found this off-brand ugly version of me to sign. Basically, on some 12-year-old shit. She was at they was at the middle school lunch table talking shit to each other. She was tripping. Azealia Banks would come to IG straight hating.
With this anger for so long, and they find this kind of ugly version of, well, she's not even a version, she's just ugly. And I hate to call a dark-skinned girl ugly because she just is ugly.
Wait
She'd
a
be ugly
minute. What? Bro, hold on. She didn't even say nothing about the music. She just went straight to she ugly. Like, come on, bro. Now that just sounds like some hating shit right there. Cause you ain't even say shit about the girl music at all. You just talking about she ugly. Like, what is that?
She were light skinned. They find this ugly girl and they try to sick her on Azealia Banks. So, okay, so if I'm a woman with self-respect, right, and I'm listening to men basically tell me that they are too afraid to with Azealia Banks, so they need me to go fight for them.
And at this point, we will have Azealia Banks and Doechii arguing on Instagram. Azealia Banks commented, called Doechii a wannabe. Doechii responds, "The first time you came for me, I let it slide out of respect for my elders. It's not my fault you selling Bussy soap and I'm selling platinum records. Leave me alone."
Yo, what is
I don't know
Bussy
what the hell
soap?
Bussy soap is, but that's what Doechii said. Fast forward a few months after this little beef though, we would have Doechii come out and release this big album, Alligator Bites Never Heal. And what she didn't know was that this album was gonna change her whole career. This specific album would change her career in both good and bad ways, but that change wouldn't be immediate. We wouldn't see how impactful this album would be for her career until 2025. And I say this because this project came out, it was low-key a sleeper. People were sleeping on it. It sold 11K first week, but that don't mean the project was terrible. What was terrible was the reception. Like I said, Kendrick had been publicly endorsing Doechii. He called her the hardest out, and Doechii would go in these interviews and she would talk about her relationship with Kendrick or how Kendrick shot in her out and how that made her feel and all of this, right? So she comes out, sells 11K. Niggas on the internet like, man, you was doing all of this talking about Kendrick calling you the hardest out, Kendrick giving you all this love, and you sold 11K. And that was it for a while. People had this negative feeling toward her, and it was just sitting there.
Wait, so she sold 11K when she first dropped. When did this album drop? Was it last year, 2024, or was it this year, 2025?
But when everything would amplify, when everything would really become crazy, is when she won a Grammy for this album that sold 11K first week. Now, like I said, first week sales, in my opinion, isn't the end-all be-all for an album. There's plenty of albums that I listened to that didn't sell well. That JPEG Mafia album, that shit tough. It didn't sound nothing crazy, but that was probably one of my favorite albums from last year.
And to speak to that point, I don't know why or when it became like the end all be all for your album success to just be solely based off of your first week. Like, that don't make sense, especially in today's climate. Everything is streamed. Most people are consuming their music the same way they consuming their social media, right? So it's on a phone, computer. Like, we're not selling albums no more like CDs and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So the first week sales is based off of an algorithm now. It's not really based off of physical copies. So like the first week sales, it sound good, right? It look cute and all of that, but you can't really just take that and depict somebody's whole art apart and say, oh, this is good or this is trash just because you sold 11K for your first week. Like, it's first week sales. You got to let the shit build now.
First week sales don't really determine nothing. It just shows how popular you are. But that's just me. That's just what I think. I'm not the whole world. So when this artist, who's co-signed heavily by Kendrick Lamar, fresh off the Drake beef, fresh off the botting allegations, fresh off the Super Bowl, when the Drake fans, which is a big portion of hip hop, already had this negative feeling toward Kendrick Lamar, they kind of threw that on Doechii. Niggas was like, this artist just sold 11K, and now she winning a Grammy? After the Grammy situation, hip hop was on fire, basically split right down the middle. We had some people in support of her. We had other people claiming that she was a plant and she didn't deserve the Grammy and that the album was trash and all of that. But what about these plant allegations? Is there some truth to it? We had all of these people calling her a plant, but what does she have to say? She would get mad and respond. Hot New Hip Hop wrote this. Doechii really hit it big in 2024. The rapper hit pay dirt with her debut project on TDE, Alligator Bites Never Heal. The mixtapes was praised by fans and critics alike and won Grammy for Best Rap Album. She also scored major cosigns from Tyler and Kendrick Lamar. She's a newly minted star of the moment, which has led to some fans crying foul. There's been some who've accused Doechii of being an industry plant and benefiting from manufactured label buzz. She responded to all of this criticism. The rapper actually took the industry plant accusations in stride. She told The Cut that the theory she has been boosted by a label means she's connecting on a level fewer her peers are. Doechii said, once you get any conspiracies around your career, that's just confirmation that you're going somewhere and that I'm doing something right. She also took time to point out that she had been making music for a while. She already had 2 mixtapes and 2 EPs under her belt before she even signed to TDE. Alligator Bites simply exposed her to more people. Normally, I feel like if an artist is getting heavily accused of being an industry plant, a lot of them just let it go unnoticed. Not often do we have somebody playing into the allegations or really come.
A lot of them don't say shit because they can't. Honestly, the more people that you get kind of picking into that, you're gonna start to see industry plants is a real thing, bruh. Now, I'm not saying that Doechii is an industry plant. Like I said, you got to look at people's backlog, and from what I'm hearing with this, she clearly had a history of music. You feel me? She has a catalog already before she signed to TDE. So I don't know if necessarily that industry plant can be placed on her. At least yet. She did win a Grammy pretty quickly. I'm not going to say that she deserved it or she didn't deserve it, because honestly, I haven't listened to that album in its entirety yet. So I'm gonna listen to it though. I'm going to check it out and I'm going to see if this is like Grammy worthy, in my opinion. You feel me? My little opinion.
Coming back at these allegations, we had her come out basically saying, nigga, I've been working. I'm not new. This was just something I worked hard for. That's basically the point she was making. But she didn't just respond to the industry plant allegations. She would also respond to people like talking shit about her Grammy performance. There was a lot of people online trying to say that her performance was fake and how she was limp seeking.
I can't possibly get on here and say this calmly or nicely. Y'all are stupid as hell. So slow. Ah! That is my DJ's voice picking up on the lines that I can't say because I'm doing a somersault. That entire performance was live. I was sick as a dog with bronchitis and the flu, performing my ass off in a straddle on top of human men. You can hear my beads slapping the mic in the beginning. Worked my ass off to build the stamina for that, for y'all to play in my face. I don't lip sync. Don't ever fucking play with me like that. Ever!
Well, damn.
So during all of this time, she would be getting all this hate and love. She would make the controversy around her name a lot worse. She would come out and say some bullshit that made a lot of people not really like her. She would do the episode on the show called Hot Ones, where you sit and eat hot wings, and she said something that ain't really sit right with people. She was basically like, my red flag is straight men. And this right here would set the world on fire.
Okay. What's my biggest dating red flag? This is a huge red flag for me. All right. You know what's so crazy? I was gonna say men. I mean, strike one. You're a man. Yeah. And you're heterosexual. Yeah. I was gonna say, so technically, because my mind was already there, I don't think I deserve to eat a wing.
This was similar to Biba Doobie, if you remember her whole situation, where she did something similar. She fell for some brain rot memes on TikTok and was basically like, I hate my male fans. Like I said,
Wait, what?
at the very start, no over exaggeration. Every day when I get on Twitter or I look on Instagram or I just look on my phone, I'm seeing some kind of talk about Doechii and her career. Basically tweeting anything about Doechii is like an infinite money glitch. I just seen the tweet that reposted a Lucky song that said Doechii would have a heart attack trying to rap on this beat. Why this shit got 1.2 million views? But
Wait,
we'll go
what?
super viral would be the tweet I spoke about in the beginning, when somebody said that Young Thug was better than Doechii. And I don't even understand the discourse around that tweet, because look, if I'm being
Right,
honest,
where's the comparison with that?
Doechii decent, the album was solid, she a valid artist, but comparing her to Young Thug is insane. If we look at discographies, they not coming close. If we look at hit songs, they not coming close. Hell, if we even look at the impact on the culture, Young Thug is washing her in every way. I hate to say Young Thug.
Right, but okay, like, I really don't understand how you're gonna compare those two, besides the fact that they both rappers. He has a larger discography. He has been an artist for longer. I don't know how long she was dropping shit before she started popping. I don't know why they would even, like, it seemed like, of course, that's just a troll tweet to get people reactions. I don't think that's real. That don't even need to be a thing at all.
Most influential artist in modern day rap, modern day hip hop. Quite literally, nigga, the landscape of hip hop would not be the same right now without Young Thug. And it's not even the shit on Doechii. This just me giving my thoughts. I'm taking Young Thug over Doechii any day. But the tweet did what it did. It started this whole war between Doechii fans and Young Thug, and it was trending so much that Playboi Carti had dropped his deluxe for his album. And I remember he posted on his story a picture of tweets about his new album, right? And in these tweets, you see something viral about Doechii and Young Thug. I can't find it again because I ain't screenshot it when it was on the story. But if the Doechii and Young Thug were popping up on Playboi Carti's Twitter, that's saying something. While the war was going on, it wasn't just one-sided. There was people defending Doechii, and there was this one tweet that went viral that had a valid point. It said this: honestly, even if Doechii is an industry plant, at least they're pushing someone with actual talent this time, because nobody said anything about Ice Spice rapping the same 16 words on the drill beat for 2 years straight. And I mean, that's a valid point when comparing that to some of the new artists that we are seeing popping up today. A lot of artists we see coming to the game, they don't really have talent. They don't really have longevity. Niggas do be on here bullshitting. So for Doechii, an artist with some actual talent, with a decent catalog, who can drop some solid songs, it really shouldn't be this much discourse. With all the allegations and conspiracies, comparisons would start. Right now, Doechii has like 56 million monthly listeners on Spotify, and people are comparing her to a lot of artists with that same amount. For example, Playboi Carti. He just came out and dropped the album that sold 300,000 copies first week, and he has 57 million monthly listeners. And then they was comparing that to Doechii first week sales. They thinking like, how the hell y'all two got the same amount of monthly listeners? One sold 300K, one sold 11. A viral tweet wrote this: so Spotify wants us to believe the same amount of people are listening to Doechii as Carti? Let's be serious for a second. He just debuted with 298,000 copies first week, and she debuted with 11K. And
That's a little questionable. Like, 11K, 298K, same 57 million listeners. I don't know. That's kind of questionable.
Y'all wonder why I don't take these Spotify stats seriously. And I mean, I can understand the take because looking at it just black and white, you like, damn, they do have the same amount of monthly listeners and they did not sell nothing near the same. That's until you actually look and try to understand where all of these streams are coming from for Doechii. Doechii basically just dropped a hit song. She got a song right now that's stuck in the top 10. That Anxiety song she just released been performing insane. It's viral on social media. It's on top of the charts. So it's not like them monthly listeners is coming out of thin air. There's a place that you can see these monthly listeners and understand that, oh, they're coming from there. Now, are some of her streams botted? Probably. But with everybody in the industry, something about their stream, something about their career is botted.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I feel like at this point, it's like find an artist that's popping that doesn't have botted streams at this point. That's why it's so hard for these arguments now, because like I said, it's no longer like physical copies. So all of this is zeros and ones pretty much. And at the end of the day, you gotta take these platforms word. You feel me? You don't have no way to go and actually prove it. You got stream farms, all of this type of stuff going on now. So it just get tricky. It get tricky with that. And then you got a lot of stuff that kind of go into the way that they are going to decipher what a stream is. You feel me? You also got now where they have it being combined with like merch and all kind of stuff. Like this is not the way that album sales used to work. So it's just tricky now.
Guaranteed. And you know the thing is, something that I personally realize, anytime an artist becomes popular or is just now getting big, doesn't matter if they're a solid artist, doesn't matter if they're trash, a hate wave is always gonna come through, and Doechii is a victim of that right now. But a lot of people do think it's more than just a hate wave. A lot of people are feeling like she's getting this amount of hate because she's a dark-skinned woman in the position that she's in right now. Because if we think about it, what has she really done to deserve all of this hate? She's getting more hate than any other female artist in the game right now. And it's not like she talentless. It's not like she just shaking ass. She really be on these songs rapping. She really be on these songs talking.
Where did this start? Like, where did the hate stem from? What sparked this? Because it seemed like once the Anxiety song started popping off, that's when everything just went crazy. Nobody like her. She's whack or she's ugly, just like all of this outlandish shit that really don't even have nothing to do with music. That's my main like question. What sparked this like hate train on the girl? Was it like the fact that she signed a TDE and it's the whole Kendrick and Drake situation where, you know, just by means of like, you feel me? She's like collateral damage because she signed a TDE. Is that where the hate stemming from? Or is there actual evidence as to why people just dislike her? I don't understand.
Okay, shit. So for people to have this much hate going toward her is a crazy concept. And one of these artists that I done spoke on was kind of throwing out some colorist takes. Ice Spice, for example. Like I said, she came into the game really talentless. Her whole appeal was throwing that ass. She would have some messages leaked where she was basically talking down on Doechii and called Doechii the quote unquote chosen dark skin. And that's a crazy thing to say. Just
that is outrageous. Like, bro, that's the last one that need to be commenting on anything. Literally, that is garbage.
Just as a person, and when you take into considerations how completely different their careers are going right now. We got Doechii going up, we got Ice Spice going down. Ice Spice should have been fell off. That's all I'm gonna say. But I think Doechii's career is gonna be fine, especially with all the attention she done got recently. She makes decent music. I think we just gotta wait and see how everything turns out on her. What are y'all thoughts on Doechii?
The wrong people commenting. I know that for sure. The wrong people. Azalea Banks, Ice Spice. Really, like, I don't really think they have much of a career to be like to speak on. You feel me? I know they got their fan bases or whatever, but I don't know Azalea Banks music. I don't know if she sing or if she rap, if she's any good at all, if she's terrible. I have no idea. I've never heard her music. Ice Spice, I've heard some of her music. I'm not a fan of it. It seems like a lot of this Doechii hate is just out of thin air. It's baseless. It seems like it's just the next popular thing to do. People like to hop on trends, and that's what they doing. It's popular to hate on Doechii right now. Her link to Kendrick. So she's gonna be caught in the crossfire just by way of association with that. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what else y'all want to see. Yeah. Peace.